Previously on Gears.
As always, on a Friday, we have the world of supercars with the Imperial Collection. However, we don't have a supercar today. We have a superstar in our midst. Now, watch this very carefully. I know that you tuned in and watching us live. So watch this, and then, of course, we will chat to the fantastic and awesome Adrian Zaugg. Here we go. Wow, Castrol Edge put that all together. I tell you, isn't that fantastically shot? Hey, Daisy, I don't know about you. Got a bit of a semi watching that thing. There's got to be few things better in the world than having the ability to drive a Lamborghini, but then actually having the ability to race a Lamborghini. It is our very own South African. I mean, listen, he was born in Singapore, grew up in Switzerland. But he's South African, and it's the one and only, and it's great to see him again. Adrian Zaugg in the studio. PGA clap. Adrian, great to see you, my friend.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're looking as fit as ever.
Yeah, well, I always try to do my best.
Good man. Now, listen, we'll get on to racing and all of those kind of things, but tell us, you've come here to South Africa together with Castrol as part of this, mind-blowing video that they've put together, which is called the Castrol Edge Titanium Strong Blackout. So where did you shoot that, first of all?
It was on an airfield close to Berlin in Germany.
Okay. And were you all there together?
Yes, of course.
Fantastic. Who was in the BMW?
It was Augusto Farfus, the
Augusto.
DTM driver.
Yeah, geez, but it doesn't handle very well, eh? Hey?
Not as well as a Lamborghini.
No, that's for sure. We could see that. But, I mean, that must have been a hell of a lot of fun doing that.
I mean, for me, it was a great pleasure, a great honor to be racing with drivers with that profile, high-class drivers as Ken Block. I think most people know him.
Yeah.
And the two DTM drivers, Mike Rockenfell in the Audi and Augusto Farfus.
Fantastic stuff. But, I mean, you were in the proper car.
Yeah, I think they were all trying to actually get into my car. Yeah. So I had to actually hide the keys. So it was quite good fun.
Now, listen, you race for Lamborghinis. Have they given you one?
Not yet. But I'm
You know,
trying. I'm trying.
these damn Italians, you know, they've got to start getting.
No, they're great.
They've got to sort this.
they're
They've got to
great.
sort this stuff out. Listen, for those of you maybe you don't know Adrian Zaugg and you're going, geez, he doesn't sound South African. Adrian, I mean, as I mentioned, you are a multinational person. Where do you live now? Are you in Switzerland? Are you in Germany?
No, I'm based in Switzerland.
So you're in
Bern.
Switzerland. Okay.
Exactly. That's my first home. South Africa has always been my second home, but my favorite home.
Wow, we like to hear that. Now, for those maybe you don't know, Adrian, of course, represented South Africa in the unfortunately now defunct series of A1GP. You had a win or two there?
Three. Even.
3 wins, yeah. 3 wins in A1GP. It was very sad that unfortunately it came to an end because I think that was really a stepping stone for perhaps you in a single-seater to maybe have progressed, and unfortunately it didn't really work out.
Well, yeah, it was a very unique series, nation versus nations, and top drivers, top teams racing around the globe. I think it was something very, very special, and it's a big shame that it actually didn't progress.
Yeah, it didn't. We'll get into your racing that you're doing now, but you back here in South Africa with the lovely people from Castrol. What were you expected to do while you've been here?
Well, we came for the launch of the Blackout Trial clip, and that's the main reason why I came to visit. And obviously I enjoyed that opportunity, and was great hanging out with all the people from Castrol and Lamborghini as well.
Very cool people,
Yeah,
eh?
they're really looking after me. Too good.
We like to hear that. Geez, I wish they would look after us like that, Daisy, the people from Lamborghini.
Yeah, me too.
Hey?
But when you've got such a sexy accent, I think that's where
No,
our
thank you,
problem is.
thank you. But we're talking about Adrian now.
We don't have the sexy accent.
Oh, we don't. Oh,
that's
okay.
why he
But you
gets the
see,
beautiful cars.
you shouldn't be wearing the Ferrari headphones, perhaps.
Well, you know what? Well, this is we're waiting for the people from Imperial and Carly. Maybe they'll be able to source us some. At least I got my Lamborghini shirt on.
I see.
You know what I mean? All right. So and that's been terrific. I mean, Castrol is most probably the biggest oil company in South Africa. I think it's the biggest selling oil company, and they've always done extraordinary things in South Africa. But it's great to see them launch a global campaign here in South Africa as well. I mean, 2.5 million hits already on the YouTube. So that's pretty cool. When you go, let's just talk a little bit about the promotion when you shot this thing. I mean, Ken Block is known for being a little bit of a madman. Did he crash into any of the lights?
I didn't see it. No,
You
I
okay.
don't think
Not
so.
that
He's
we-
very
not that we know.
professional, and he's very skilled. So I think he has his fort under control at all times.
And when you're shooting something like that, I mean, we all know that in post-production they do a whole lot of things. But I mean, were those lights actually moving down on you and you shooting across? I mean, that must be quite a lot of concentration that one has to keep.
Well, that was actually the format, to race in complete darkness and actually race against lights, which meant that we actually all had to rely completely on our reaction. So we didn't have much reference, as you can imagine, for braking points, turning points, etc. So that was the real exciting bit about, pushing boundaries.
Fantastic. It really is brilliantly put together. Now, Adrian, let's just talk about, since A1GP, you've delved into various parts of motor racing. We know that motor racing is very, very expensive. But now you are based with the Lamborghini manufacturer, and you've done exceptionally well. I think your first victory was it last year, September, October?
Something like that, yes.
Yeah, okay. And I mean, it must be just a hell of a lot of fun having a whole lot of Lamborghinis racing against each other.
In fact, time goes so fast. It was the year before. Even.
Was it really
Yes,
2012?
That's the first year I started in Lamborghini Super Trofeo. I claimed pole on my second event and led the race until a technical failure. And then also last year we finished third in the championship.
Yeah.
I was racing the Pro-M series, which meant I was racing together with the amateur driver.
Okay.
And actually claimed 6 poles out of 7 in the complete season, and actually led every single stint of mine and before handing over the car. So I think that's what made the impression on Lamborghini and gave me the opportunity and chance to actually be signed as a factory driver for this year.
That's fantastic. I'm just checking my phone because I don't recall getting a text message from you saying we're looking for an amateur driver and maybe you could step in and help us out here.
I know you don't have enough bucks, you see. So
I was hoping you would sponsor, you know what I mean?
no, I get paid.
Okay. Now, listen, Adrian, so where are you now at the moment? You Lamborghini Trofeo. where's this going to go now? Is Lamborghini going to go with maybe GT3 and perhaps get into bigger events, maybe racing Le Mans series, those kind of things, or are they just focusing on this Trofeo at present?
Well, the Gallardo has been racing already for some years in the GT3 series, and but now it's the first time that the Huracan will be built within the factory in Italy, whereas before they had a partner in Germany. So I mean, everyone's very excited about the fact that the new GT3 and the Super Trofeo will be built in Sant'Agata. And of course, it's a great pleasure and honor for me to being given the trust and faith to actually get my hands on the car first when it gets onto the track.
Now, tell us a little about the Huracan. I've been fortunate enough to see it. We had one here, which I think it just looks magnificent. You've driven, I'm sure, all of them, but the difference between the last Gallardo compared to the Huracan, how have you experienced them, just in terms of road cars? I'm not talking about the racetrack.
Well, that's the thing. I'm in the motorsport department, so I actually never
So
even drove the road car Huracan version. I'm really there for the
in the
GT3
racing side.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've driven the Aventador, the Murcielago, but even the Gallardo road car, obviously, and the Super Trofeo model, but it's not yet the Huracan.
And I mean, this Huracan, it must be, when you strip it all out and becomes a racing car, I mean, it must be just crazy.
Well, already the road car, I mean, I was at the factory last week and I spoke to all key people from, the engine side, the aerodynamic side, and trust me, that will be a whole lot of supercar. I mean, already the road car, but also the race car that we will be developing will be a great fun, and I'm sure very, very competitive internationally.
Now, I think also who was out here from Lamborghini was Mr. Balboni. Was he also here? He wasn't here now.
Yes,
he was here.
Yes, he was here. He was at Imperial.
It was in Imperial, yeah. So I mean, he must be quite a person to have a conversation with about test driving Lamborghinis.
Yes, I mean, funny enough, I'm in Italy pretty often, but I have to come to South Africa to meet him.
Isn't that bizarre?
I mean, for me, it was a very proud moment. Of course, to have met him and even taken a picture with him. So, I mean, it's a great legend, and I think everyone in the motorsport business at least know who he is.
No, of course. I mean, listen, you've made it in life when they even name a car after you. So
Exactly.
you're doing okay. In terms of where you're going from now, how many races do you have for the season? Are you going to be involved in anything else besides Trofeo?
Most probably I'll be heading to Japan to do the Suzuka 1,000 kilometer race in the GT3 Gallardo. And
then there's two of you.
For that race, most
Or
probably
three.
there'll be three drivers.
Three
in total.
drivers, okay,
Yes.
but three professionals.
Exactly.
Oh, damn it. Okay.
And most probably I'll be doing some races in the Asian GT. I mean, in the Asian Super Trofeo. Excuse me.
Fantastic stuff. And then, I mean, you've got to also look forward to the future. I mean, it would be great to have Lamborghini, especially with the Huracan, up there and doing sort of races like Le Mans, those kind of things. I mean, that must be surely something you'd like to perhaps achieve as well.
Well, I mean, that's definitely my target, to contribute as much as a driver with my experience and my feedback. First of all, now to develop the car, and then obviously bring it to track, and then show what it can do. And that's really what I'm looking for.
Man, it's a tough life, it does. Don't you want to be a racing driver?
Sounds good.
Just sit there and smash the tires all over the place. Go back, tell them you need new tires. Thank you. Give us a drink. Got the pretty girls there with the umbrellas or the Lamborghini sign. Hey?
Yeah, I don't think I do too well though, because you know how I drive.
Yeah, driving Miss Daisy.
Yeah.
Adrian, when it comes to the actual racing, I mean, a lot of the guys, and it's a Trofeo, so you all are basically in the same kind of cars. I mean, most people when they look at some of those series, they say it's a little bit too gentlemanly. In the sense that, well, we'll go racing, but we won't go too hard. How have you found it? I mean, are the guys really, really up for it? And, well, if God forbid we have crashes, but if we have crashes, so be it.
No, not at all. I mean, if you look at the classification, they actually plotted in 3, which means they have a pro championship where there's only the pro drivers, then the pro and amateur drivers, and then the pure AM, which would be most probably mainly gentleman drivers. So we all race at the same event, but with 3 classifications, 3 championships.
Okay, but three different races, or all on track at the same
No,
time?
all on track at the same time.
So it must be a little bit hair-raising when you are flying around there and you come up against a pure little amateur and you're just hoping that he doesn't move into your line or something like that.
Well, usually when you start at the front, that's the last problem you have. But usually when you get to lap, that is a bit of a problem with the benchmarkers. But I mean, you know how to deal with it, so it's all right.
There we go. It's fantastic. Adrian, it's great to see you. We know you're flying out again. Is there any plans of coming back to South Africa in the near future?
Well, I hope as soon as possible, always when time allows, but usually I'm only here during the European winter break.
Yeah.
So I think I'll be busy, pretty much busy from next month until November, and then we see after that.
Excellent. Well, listen, we wish you well. Great to see you again. Thanks to Castrol and, of course, Imperial Collection for bringing you out here. I'm glad they looked after you, which is terrific. Have a safe journey and bring home the championship.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
All right.
Balls.co.za